Welcome to the FBS podcast. You know, for many small businesses in the forest product sector, thinking about modernization, well, it's often full of hurdles, isn't it?
Absolutely. Things like outdated equipment, maybe inefficient processes, and always that struggle for capital.
Exactly. But what if there was a team, an expert team, ready to help you clear those hurdles and at no cost?
That would certainly change things for a lot of folks.
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into just such a resource. It's called the Wood Manufacturing Assistance Team.
Hmm.
And just for clarity, we'll be referring to it as WMAT, all four letters, WMAT, throughout our discussion today. Keep things clear.
Good idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, our mission today is really to unpack WMAT,
Hmm.
understand, precisely who it's designed to help, and crucially, how you can access their support.
Yeah.
We've got some pretty specific insights here, including what a business might realistically expect if they apply.
And I think maybe the most compelling thing, you touched on it, is that no cost part. I mean, imagine getting top-tier consulting expertise tailored exactly to your operations challenges without getting a single invoice.
Right. It's quite unique.
That really seems to be the core idea behind WMAT's model, doesn't it? It sort of democratizes access to that high-value strategic technical support. It removes that huge financial barrier that, well, often stops growth cold for small businesses.
Exactly right. That barrier is significant. And to make this really tangible for you, our listener, we'll walk through some hypothetical examples later.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and it's important to say these aren't, actual past results. They're illustrative scenarios, just designed to give the clearest possible picture of WNAT's potential impact.
That's helpful context. And just quickly, this podcast is part of the Forest Business School's broader mission, which is all about helping mid-career professionals like you stay informed, excel in your field, and really cut through the noise to get practical knowledge.
A valuable mission.
Okay, so we've set the stage for WMAT. Let's get right into its roots. Where did this support system come from, and who exactly is it designed to, well, uplift?
Sure. So at its core, WMAT is a program, and it's designed specifically to provide no-cost technical support. And the emphasis is really on small wood products manufacturers.
Okay, small ones.
Yes, it's a strategic partnership between two key players, the USDA Forest Service and the U.S. Endowment for Forestry and Communities.
Right.
And the overarching goal, it's pretty clear, help these businesses boost their efficiency, enhance safety, and ultimately just become far more competitive in the market.
That competitiveness piece is vital.
It really is. It's all about improving their operational performance and, strengthening their market position.
I imagine for many small businesses, it's not just about surviving, it's finding that edge, right?
Exactly.
So when we talk about small wood products manufacturers, who specifically falls under that umbrella? Is it mainly sawmills, or is it broader than that?
That's a good question, and it is broader. While sawmills are definitely included, absolutely, the program explicitly aims to help a wider range of small forest sector businesses.
Such as?
We'll think biomass processors, post and pole operations, for things like sturdy fence posts, utility poles, wood pellet producers too.
Okay.
It's structured to strengthen these businesses through, well, both hands-on operational support and also strategic planning.
And this team of experts, who are they? Is it like a fixed group, or does the expertise change depending on the business's needs?
Good point. The team is made up of seasoned industry experts, and their selection is indeed based on the specific business type and the project scope.
Ah, okay.
So while you won't find, a public list of names and qualifications, the expertise involved is top tier. It draws from staff at the U.S. Endowment and the USDA Forest Service. They really tailor the team to the problem.
That tailoring sounds incredibly valuable.
It is. It's critical.
You highlighted that key feature earlier, no cost. Now, beyond the obvious financial relief, what are the other significant benefits? And what specific types of assistance does WMAT actually provide?
Right. Well, the primary benefit, as we've said, is genuinely free access to expert technical assistance. No participation fees, no matching requirements, and crucially, no hidden costs reported.
That's huge.
It removes a massive barrier, for small businesses that probably couldn't afford that level of consulting otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And the services, they cover a really wide range of needs, both operational and strategic. For instance, they do operational efficiency audits.
Which means what exactly? Finding bottlenecks.
Exactly. Finding those hidden clogs in your production pipeline that slow everything down. They also offer equipment and process recommendations, looking at your current setup and suggesting modernizations.
Growth? Yeah.
Investment planning and financial feasibility analysis.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about a big capital project, they help you figure out if it's viable, what the potential return might be.
Makes sense.
Also, safety and maintenance program reviews, making sure you're compliant and following best practices. Market expansion strategy, helping businesses find new places, new ways to sell their products.
That's important too.
And finally, feasibility studies for capital improvements, really helping you weigh the pros and cons before you make those big investments.
So it's quite a comprehensive approach then. It's looking at the shop floor today, but also planning strategically for, well, for growth down the line.
Precisely. A mix of both.
How is this assistance delivered? Is it always, someone coming out to the site, or is there flexibility there?
It's designed to be flexible. It's likely a mix of on-site visits and remote consultations, really tailored to what the business needs and what the team's capacity allows.
Okay.
This lets them do those deep dives into specific operational issues right there on the ground, but also have those broader strategic discussions, which can often happen remotely. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, this program really reflects a shared mission. It's about advancing rural economic development and strengthening the whole forest sector infrastructure.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, to really bring this to life, you mentioned you have some hypothetical examples.
Yes, we do. And again, just to be super clear, these are illustrative scenarios. They're meant to give you a clearer picture of the potential impact, but they aren't, documented past results.
Understood. Hypotheticals to illustrate the potential.
Exactly. They show the potential scope, how WMAT might engage with different kinds of businesses.
Okay, let's hear one. Let's start with Steadwood's Bark Symphony. A small sawmill, you said, in Vermont, making custom lumber. What sort of challenges might a place like that face?
Well, hypothetically, Steadwoods was facing a pretty common dilemma. They had accumulating leftover byproducts, bark, unsorted offcuts, and didn't know what to do with them.
Right, waste streams.
Exactly. Plus, aging, inefficient equipment, no real clear plan for capital upgrades, and they wanted to diversify income, but just lacked the technical and strategic support to figure out how.
Sounds familiar from many small ops.
It does. So WMAT's engagement, it might start with an initial consult, an operational audit, looking at their current operations. They might identify things like inefficient material handling, maybe an outdated edger or planer setup, those low-grade offcuts just piling up unsorted, maybe even manual inventory tracking, slowing things down.
Okay, so they identify the pain points. What kind of recommendations would follow in that scenario?
For Steadwood, the recommendations might focus first on workflow and equipment optimization, maybe reconfiguring machine placement, perhaps suggesting a new edger to boost efficiency. But crucially, for those byproducts, WMAT might explore some innovative ideas, like maybe bundling kindling for sale, or connecting them with local artisans who could use reclaimed wood.
Oh, interesting.
Or even using a small resaw to produce valuable blanks from what was essentially waste before. For market positioning, maybe suggest some new seasonal product lines. And for capital planning, a phased investment plan.
It's okay.
Yeah, with projected ROI and maybe even links to potential funding sources could be provided. It's really about turning that waste into new revenue streams.
That's a great example for a sawmill. But the sector's diverse, like you said. What about a different kind of business? Say, Yankee Splinters, a firewood processing plant in Connecticut, diesel-powered, you mentioned.
Right. So for Yankee Splinters, the hypothetical challenge was different. High diesel fuel costs, that was a big one, and a strong desire to switch to more efficient electric systems. They also wanted to install a kiln for USDA-certified firewood, which opens up markets, but they were hampered because they lacked three-phase electric power, and they just weren't clear on the technical specs or the financing needed.
Okay, common hurdles for electrification.
Very common. So WMAT might conduct a site audit, but focus specifically on that energy transition. They'd benchmark their current throughput, compare the costs diesel versus electric.
Got it.
The strategic upgrade plan could involve assessing the feasibility of getting three-phase power, maybe coordinating directly with the utility company, outlining clear cost estimates, and importantly, connecting them to programs like the USDA Rural Energy for America program, REAP.
Ah, connecting them to funding. That's key. And the kiln part.
Exactly. For the kiln, they could recommend a specific type, maybe a USDA APS-compliant direct-fired kiln.
APA's IS.
Yeah, that's the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. They set the standard for things like heat treating firewood to prevent pest spread, which you need if you want to move it across state lines, for example.
Right, market access.
Precisely.
Hmm.
WMAT would help with right-sizing the kiln, maybe for 1 to 2 cords per cycle, and planning the optimal wood flow into and out of it.
And the potential outcome.
Well, anticipated outcomes could be pretty significant. Maybe annual savings of, say, $15,000 to $25,000 just in diesel fuel, plus reliable year-round drying capacity, which lets them charge premium prices. And meeting those compliance rules opens up potentially big new markets.
Yeah, okay. The specificity there is really impressive. It's definitely not just generic advice.
No, it's very tailored.
Let's look at one more angle, a different kind of challenge, maybe a vertically integrated operation like Super Youper Sheds in Michigan, doing sheds and furniture. What complexities might they face?
Good example. So here, the hypothetical challenges were different again. A really congested yard, maybe highly inefficient material flow, significant material waste because of inconsistent sizing from their own sawing, maybe, and labor constraints. The owner knew they needed to invest in redesign, maybe streamline things, but just didn't have a clear roadmap.
Okay, so organizational and flow issues.
Exactly. WMAT's engagement might start with a full facility walkthrough, noting issues like, okay, lumber's staged in multiple unorganized locations. There's no clear segregation of cuts needed for sheds versus furniture. Maybe a lot of manual, time-consuming cutting processes.
So what practical recommendations could flow from that kind of assessment?
Well, they might suggest realigning the sawmill output first, maybe planning product-specific sawing runs, optimizing workflow and layout, maybe implementing something like a dedicated racking system to improve organization and flow.
Okay, simple but effective.
Right. And they might suggest some light automation, perhaps a small CNC router computer numerical control for those precise, repetitive furniture cuts, or even simple jigs for framing shed walls, just to speed things up and improve consistency.
Ah, smart automation, not necessarily huge robots.
Exactly. They might also evaluate adding an entry-level dehumidification kiln and help design the layout modifications needed to integrate it smoothly.
So what the Super Youper example shows.
Yeah, what it really highlights, I think, is that often the biggest gains aren't necessarily from huge capital investments. Sometimes it's about smarter workflow design, strategic, targeted automation. It's working smarter, not just harder. And WMAT provides that crucial external perspective, that fresh set of eyes to see those opportunities.
And the potential outcomes there.
Anticipated outcomes might be something like, say, a 15% reduction in internal material handling time, improved log-to-product yield, so less waste, quicker furniture production, expanded kiln capacity for year-round work, and just an overall more professional, scalable facility layout.
Okay, these examples really paint a picture. So we've covered what WMAT is, the incredible value of its no-cost help, and seen these compelling hypothetical examples. Now, the big question for our listener, if you're thinking, hey, this might fit my business, how do you actually get started with WMAT?
Right, the practical step. And the good news is the application process is designed to be straightforward. It's not like applying for a complex federal grant.
Okay, that's reassuring.
Yeah. Businesses basically begin by completing a short interest form.
Simple enough. And where do people find this form?
It's available right on the WMAT webpage, if you search for it, or go to useendowment.org Wood-Manufacturing Assistance Team.
Okay, we'll make sure that link is accessible. And submissions are rolling.
Yes, reviewed on a rolling basis, so there isn't some specific high-pressure deadline you need to hit.
Good to know. And once that form is in, what typically happens next?
Well, a staff member will follow up. They'll likely reach out to gather some additional information, clarify your specific needs, and basically determine if your facility qualifies for support.
So a conversation happens.
Exactly. It's not just submitting a form into the void. And again, it's really not a grant-style application needing tons of complex documentation. They're trying to understand your situation to see how they can best help.
Can you give us a sense maybe of the kind of information they're looking for on that initial interest form? Not every single field, but the gist of it.
Sure. It's pretty straightforward. They ask for the basic company info, of course, name, address, contact details.
Like standard stuff.
Yeah. Then a quick overview of your operations, like a short company history, your main production focus, number of employees, general capacity, that sort of thing.
Okay.
They'll ask about the products you manufacture. There's usually a list you can select from things like dimensional lumber, stud lumber, fencing, posts and poles, various panels like OSB, MDF, HDF, particle board.
OSB, MDF, oriented strand board, medium density fiber board.
Right. Siding, plywood, veneer, pellets, chips, pulp, paper. Engineered wood products, Firewood, it covers a lot.
It does.
And then, probably the most important part, your current challenges or opportunities.
Yeah.
This is where you explain why you want to participate.
Your why.
Exactly. The form lists common examples like we discussed. Aging or inefficient equipment, maybe lack of capital for upgrades, excessive downtime, maintenance backlogs. Maybe you lack markets for your primary products or your residues, need to update a strategic plan, or just feel you need external expertise. And then there's usually a spot for a brief statement of need, just describing your situation and why you're seeking assistance. And they ask about your timeline, like when you ideally want the help.
So really focused on understanding the specific problem.
Yes, they want that clear picture so they can deliver tailored solutions, not just generic advice.
Makes perfect sense. And just for completeness, for general inquiries about wood innovations overall, Adam Smith from the USDA Forest Service is also listed as a contact on their page.
That's correct.
Okay, so let's pull this all together. What does this mean for you, our listener?
We've really explored the ins and outs of the wood manufacturing assistance team today, from its crucial no-cost nature and the kinds of services it offers, to those really specific, though hypothetical, examples of how it could reshape operations. Yeah, and I think the core takeaway really is that this program offers a direct line to expert resources for small wood product manufacturers. If you're looking to enhance efficiency, tackle those nagging operational challenges, plan for future growth, this is a way to get help doing that, all without that financial burden.
Right. It's about empowerment, isn't it?
It really is. Empowering businesses to look at their operations with fresh eyes and then, importantly, providing a potential roadmap forward.
And often that's the hardest part, right? Getting that objective, specialized perspective when you're deep in the day-to-day.
Absolutely. It's hard to see the forest for the trees, sometimes quite literally in this sector.
Indeed. So as we wrap up this FBS podcast deep dive, here's maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to mull over. What specific challenge in your forest products business, or perhaps a business you know well, could truly benefit from this kind of free, external, specialized perspective that WMAT offers?
A great question to ponder.
Thank you for joining us on this FBS podcast. We look forward to our next exploration.
Hey, this is Steve Bick with the Forest Business School. Thanks for listening to the FBS podcast, and I hope you will subscribe. The truth is, these deep dives barely scratch the surface of some of the topics we cover in the Forest Business School programs, and the podcast is a way of reaching a wider audience. Check out my website at vtfbs.com for more information. Reach out if you want to talk about one of the FBS programs or have custom training or project needs that you'd like to discuss. Again, thanks for listening to the FBS podcast.